What is up, everyone? Welcome to Mechs on Deck. Something a little bit different. It's not just Chewy and myself today. We've got our good buddy and sponsor of the channel, Dixie. How you doing, my dude?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Chewy?
Yeah, can't complain. It's Monday night. Yeah, Mamba, dude. Mamba mentality. Rip the king.
Ripping the Mamba.
That is the Dixie Mech, the return of the king. Welcome to our... He's the first person to be on 3 times. Actually, he's been on more because he's been on for Solder Talk. But
that's right.
On camera.
It's like an SNL thing. They like compare who's been on more time.
Well, once you get to
Baldwin, Mechs on Deck.
once you get to 5, we'll send you a card that has the 5 timers club.
There we go. Just one more.
There you go. Easy.
Yeah. You've been on a few times, but today it's for something pretty special. Today we're talking about MechMadness2020, which play-in started today.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know Mech Madness, we're going to be diving deep into it. Feel free to ask Dixie any questions about Mech Madness. If you ask him now, I'll try and write them down. But first off, a word from our sponsors, Mr. Dixie, mechsondeck.dixiemech .com. It's right there. I should just.
Mine's Dashcom, actually.
Oh, okay. Dashcom. So mechsondeck.dixiemech.com. GMK Modern Dolch Light.
What's that?
Dude, I don't know, man. It's gonna fail because of that Modern Dolch name. No, go pick up GMK Modern Dolch Light. It's an awesome set. Probably my most hype set of the year so far. Be sure to go check that out. And also you will get to be, if you buy a key set, you will be entered in to be a part of the Dixie Dozen, where you will get 20% off GMK keycap sets. Is it for the rest of the year or is it for 12 months?
It's technically for 12 months.
Okay.
There's some fine print on the website if you want to read it. It wasn't as sexy if you actually had the giant sentence. But you'll basically get 12 promo codes to get 20% off of any key set for 12 months. So you can use them all and buy 12, or you can use 7. But after 12 months, they all disappear. So you have a chance to get 12.
There you go. And then you can party on Dixie's yacht for the Dixie Dozen Yacht Club. So be sure to check that out. Moving on, Zap Cables makes some of the best cables in the business. So be sure to go grab. He just released some awesome kind of retro white coiled cables. I didn't know that he's doing it to where I guess he's building them without heat shrink, so you can still pick your heat shrink color, which is pretty neat. I was checking that out today. So just even though he's, they're kind of taken away some of the customizability, you still get a little bit. You still get to pick, a couple different colors. So that's pretty cool. Be sure to check that out. Desk mats are on there as well. Quite awesome.
Yep. And then you've got switchmod.net. You can go to switchmod.net/mechsondeck. Get 4% off. Everything they've got in stock over there. I think they still have a couple T60s left. You can pick one of those up, or you can pick up some lube. I know he's doing restocks throughout the month, and then he is running GMK Metaverse until the 18th, I believe, is when that goes down. And if you want to use switchmod.net/Chewy or /Osiris, you get $5 off GMK Metaverse. So if you are interested in that, pick it up. He's going to add some additional keys at 1,000 sets. Got a little ways to go, but a long time to get there. So check that out. And then last but not least, Project Keyboard. You can go to mechsondeck.project.link. So we got a fancy link now. Pick up a Tengu.
No longer equal reference.
Pick up a Tengu. Last couple days of the Tengu that ends later this week on the 8th. If you want to see more about that on our YouTube channel, We have a typing test of it as well as a prototype showcase, which is something new that we're planning on doing for boards that we get. So it just kind of shows off the board, shows off the curves, that sexiness. So check those out and pick up a Tengu. And GMK, I'm gonna butcher the hell out of this name. Perestroika.
It's Parashkanosha.
Yes.
PST. Pick it up. It's a pretty cool set. Very unique looking. Check it out. Running the entire month of February from the 1st through the 29th. So check those out and come hang out with us. I don't know where it's going with that.
I bought it.
There, well, boom. There you go. The man himself. So yeah, we usually, since this is not really a bring on a guest and ask them fast forward, we will skip that. We have Mr. Brez made an awesome document documenting everybody's answers. I can't imagine that Dixie's answers have changed much in the last like 6 weeks.
I'm pretty sure they change every time because they don't even remember what I said last time. I'm probably however many times I've been on, it's completely different every time, probably.
So, but yeah, so Mech Madness, I'll let Dixie, why don't you talk about Mech Madness, what it is, how it got started, all that good stuff.
All right. I guess if you have no idea what we're talking about, Mech Madness is a March Madness style tournament for the keyboard community. And if you don't know what March Madness is, it is college basketball's playoff tournament for the championship. So you start with 64 teams, and 2 teams play each other and eliminate each other until you get down to 1. We do the exact same thing with keyboards and key sets. So we take all the designs from the previous year, put them head to head, and then the public votes on them on our Instagram stories with the polls. And then after 24 hours, we determine who moves on. And we just keep doing that until there's one left who can be crowned keyboard of the year, key set of the year. And this year we added desk mats just because there were so many, and thought me give some people another chance to win some stuff. If you have three brackets,
People like winning stuff.
they do.
Yeah, and if you're not following Dixie on Instagram, go follow him at Dixie Mech. Got to be there to compete in the actual tournament, to put in your voice. You can compete,
participate.
Yeah, you can just fill out a bracket and not partake in the votes, but chances are good if you want yours to be right. You gotta help out,
Yep. Very true.
So, but yeah, and then here, let me pull up I have like to,
how did it start? That's the other one.
Yeah, how did it start? And how did last year go?
I have a friend. I want to see Dixie Mech's new member.
Oh my god.
This is Remy.
Oh my god.
He just woke up.
Jesus.
Figured I'd introduce her to the world on your
stream. Give it some time because all the guys on the channel have to call their wives and girlfriends over to make sure that they see this dog.
Oh my gosh, that is the cutest thing ever.
She's actually not biting me right now. She's good on camera.
How old is she?
I don't know. Pretty young. I don't really know.
Between a few weeks and a few years.
Yes, she's probably like 10, 12 years old. Oh, that's your long leg.
Got some big ass paws though.
Okay, run along.
She's probably like, if I had to guess, probably like in the 3-4 month stage.
Mm-hmm. So if you see bite marks in your GMK keycap trays, Remy is the problem.
Yeah, she was heading for my personal ones earlier. I caught her right before she got to them. My unopened Metropolis set was about to get destroyed. Okay, sorry, I had to interrupt. To show her.
There is never a bad time to interrupt with a dog.
So where were we?
How
did
did it
Mac
get
Madness start?
started?
I don't really remember why I had the idea. I mean, I had the idea around this time last year. So about the beginning of February, end of January. I guess that's right when they start advertising March Madness for basketball. Um, and I don't really know why. I don't remember the exact moment when it just hit me like, oh, we should do this. But I didn't have the idea, but maybe 2 weeks before I opened the brackets. So like the second I had the idea, like that night, I made like the entire website. I did everything in like one sitting because I was like, I don't have much time if I actually want this to happen in March. um, so it was kind of rushed. This year was much better because we had many months to prepare. Yeah, I just kind of wanted something to recognize the designs, and also allow the community to be the ones who do that, not just be like a panel of people who just pick it and it doesn't mean anything. And it's just really fun.
Hello, 3.
Everyone likes a bracket challenge. Just because you never know what's going to happen. You get to follow along month long. Last year I had a ton of people saying it was just they had more fun at work because they could check every hour of every day of the entire month, have something to do. So I guess that's another plus. Yeah, it's
Dixie
just
helps
something
you
fun.
procrastinate at work. So.
Gio, thank you for the tier 1 sub for 6 months. Appreciate it. It's nice to do something like this because in this hobby we're very like what's next, like we have a big what's next mentality. A lot of times we don't take time to really appreciate
I agree.
everything from the past year. So it's really cool to be able to take a step back and be like, let's just take a look at everything that came out. Let's figure out what was really the favorite of the community. Plus, like you said, it's really a pretty cool deal for the designers to also get involved and kind of flex a little bit.
Yeah. I kind of had this this far out dream that it would be kind of the official way of determining a really good key set. So if somehow Olivier wins again this year, if they do round 3, they could be like 2-time key set of the year Olivia and have it like on the box, like kind of like movies and books. I thought that would just be kind of cool. Kind of thing for the community to have. It kind of feels more legit than it being like this hidden secret community that no one knows what's going on. It feels more large and like a real thing and less lame, I guess.
Yeah.
When
Well,
you have when you have awards.
Yeah, and anything like this where it brings the whole community together for something, it's pretty cool. It's awesome to see the whole community get together and partake in something.
Yeah,
And conversation gets fun too throughout the month because it's not just the same 15 sentences you read in every Discord every day. It's actually new stuff to talk about, and no one actually knows how it's going to go. So everybody gets to talk about their predictions, and then upset happens, and it's just like sports. Basically, you're bringing the feeling of sports into something that people who may not like sports and have never really gotten to experience that get to be like, oh, it's just kind of cool way to do that.
And it gets people arguing, which is nice. Like that sounds bad, but like, everybody has their favorite sets or a favorite handful of sets, and also a lot of people don't like a lot of different sets, and so it gets people kind of in a nice way, hopefully, nice way and respectful way, just kind of going, hey, no, I want this to win. I think this will win. I think this will win. And then upsets. I mean, I can't remember a lot of the. I know there were a few upsets last year that were like insane.
I can't remember right off the top of my head. I know there was one matchup last year that literally tied the exact same amount of votes, and we had to like do an overtime round. Like we had to do it again, like a lightning round of 2 hours to determine who won. So like I never thought that could happen with that many people voting.
So, and I mean, while the last, like, I mean, I guess it's easy to think now, but like while the top 4 in each seemed a little bit predictable, it was nice seeing those early rounds. Anything can happen, especially with the ones that are kind of a strange toss up. And I had a lot of fun personally. Like I was a big fan of the TX60. So I was, following the TX. I was like following a few different things and seeing how far they would go, and then getting pissed off that I think camping got knocked out really early from
That was one of the big upsets.
Modern Dolch beat camping in like the second round, and I was furious because I was like, both of these sets could be in the top 8.
Yeah, we're trying to slightly change things this year. And now I can actually say we, because I actually have people helping me. Last year it was just me. So I kind of had to just make all the decisions and live with the results. But this year it was nice to be able to ask people's opinions and get multiple minds on it. But like last year, every single one of the brackets, or all 2 of them, were just completely randomized. There was who played who. Just because that seemed like the only fair way. Because I didn't think like I myself got to pick who played who. It just it didn't seem right. But this year on key sets, we actually seeded them by how many base kits they sold. So it's actually seeded by like the strength of the sales. And we have it in like the 4 divisions, like in basketball. So there's 4 number 1 seeds, 4 number 2 seeds, and then those number 1 seeds, if they win out their quadrant, they can make it to the final 4. So it's a little more legit, and I think it'll make that those blockbuster sets don't hit each other in the second round.
Mhm.
Just so the ending will be a little more exciting, I think.
Yeah, because
But yeah, keyboards were kind of random though.
yeah, that one's harder to do because you don't have like a set.
How fast did this board sell
Yeah,
out?
right.
Yeah, it's like
what's the spots available per set?
Yeah, we randomized it for the most part. But there were a couple things like we had to make some kind of general rules in order to make it work. Like if somebody had 3 designs, we didn't want them to have 1 design in 3 quadrants, because that means there's a chance that 3 of the final 4 could be 1 designer's board. And that would be kind of boring if there are 3 key cults in the final 4. So we had a few little rules just to make it more competitive, but it was still random in those rules. So I think it's gonna be more exciting. I hope it is.
I think
Just
it's going to
because
be. I'm really excited because I think while it was awesome last year, like I didn't really have any complaints other than obviously camping getting knocked out early, and what we had, what you've talked about before, of also similar boards like the TX60 and the TX65 both getting a spot when they're pretty much the exact same board. So I'm excited that like while it was a lot of fun last year, I know going into this year how much more thought was put into it.
Yeah,
And how
we got
much
to see how
more.
things didn't work.
Yep.
Firsthand. Like, So another thing we changed is, so like you just said, the TX60 and the TX65 are the same board. So this year we kind of have the same thing. The Key Cult number 160 and number 165 are basically the same board. There's a few other ones. There's like the Caps Unlocked has the CU65 and the CU80. They're they're basically the same. Maybe it wasn't those 2, but there were 3 or 4 where they had the same design and just a slightly bigger. So on those, with our play-in round, we got them to play each other in the play-in round. So they're still guaranteed to get in the tournament, but it's just the public's just going to pick which one of the 2 form factors is the one that should get to go through. That just seemed like a easy way to pick which one, but we didn't have to do it ourselves.
Yeah, and we're in the play-in stage right now.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Yeah,
Guess I
you
should
can
explain
go
what that
vote
is.
right if you want to put your Instagram link. You can go vote right now.
Yeah, let me do that.
I've been enjoying putting in my votes. I will say, it also looks cleaner this year.
Yeah, that's my wife's idea. She was like, "Make it simpler. There's too much going on."
So, like for instance, it's very clean. It's very simple to. Okay,
Sorry.
Yep, it's all good. It's just your fault, no big deal. But it's very simple to vote. Sorry, the light's pretty bright. You just pick the arrow pointing which one you want, and you just tap it, and it's quite simple. It's laid out beautifully, so um, kind of who, and then it'll tell you the percentages, which is nice. So you can kind of follow and see if there's like a huge, if there's like a slaughter and biggest victory. I'm excited to see who gets the biggest victory.
Yeah, I think Olivia was the biggest last year with like 92% of one of the matchups,
I
which
think
I guess is
with the way that the changes are to the bracket system, especially for keycaps, I think it'll really, like, you'll have gradually more hype for the matchups as it goes on because of the way that it's done. Because if you think, like, obviously if a 16 seed takes out a 1 seed, that's going to be nuts. But
yeah.
one would think that the 1s and the 2s are going to make it to the end, and as they go further and further, it's going to get closer and closer.
And it's actually fair, I guess.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
if you sold 6,000, you shouldn't have to go up against the person who sold 3,000 in the second round. You get to play the Magic City that sold 75. Like, if you only sold 75, that's just what happens. Just like in sports. If you
But
went undefeated, you get to play the person who didn't.
Yep. But end of the day, anything can happen. That's the other thing that's exciting too.
I'm very excited for key sets now that it's very legit in the layout.
Yeah, because once you get down to like that four and I think it's 4 and 12.
Yep.
That's where it starts getting where it's like, okay, like these sets are not the worst. Like, and you're playing against sets that were, while they were good, a 4 seed, the highest 4 seed is what, 13th? Is my math right? Yeah, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th seed technically.
Yeah.
Just if you guys follow or March Madness, that's how it does. So so other than that, how I guess go through the process of selecting and dealing with the designers, and I know pictures can be a big thing, especially on key sets. So maybe talk about that process.
Yeah. Before we get there, we were just talking about play-ins.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
guess I should explain what that is. So there's only 64 spots. So basically, the way a bracket works is you work your way from 1, and you have to double each round because you're eliminating half of the competition. So it has to double. So you go 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 60. So if you have over 64, you either have to go all the way up to 128, or you do what we did, where I think in the key set bracket, there's 12 spots in the tournament that 24 designs are playing each other to get. So I guess that means we had 12 too many key set designs. So they're kind of winning their way into the tournament. So the bottom 24 that sold the least in the year are the ones fighting for the spots in the actual tournament. So that's what's happening this week. So we have keyboards and key sets both have designs that have to win their way into the actual tournament. And then the brackets will start this Saturday once all of those play-ins have been concluded and all the spots are determined.
Yeah, it's super important for people to go and vote for the play-ins, especially because if there's a set that you really like for instance, Chewy's a big fan of Terra, probably one of his top sets of last year, and that's in a play-in right now. So if there's some sets in there that you are big fans of, or maybe some keyboards that you're a big fan of, definitely keep an eye out to the Dixie Mech Instagram to make sure that you cast your vote so your board gets represented in the big brackets this upcoming weekend.
Yep.
Yeah, and it gets even more exciting when it's like somebody who wasn't even actually in the tournament possibly wins the first round of the actual tournament. So it's like you weren't even you had to play a whole extra round than everyone else. So it's exciting to follow the ones that had to earn their way in.
Yeah. And play-ins are still that's still I guess meta to what actually happens in March Madness. There are 2 play-in games typically for the for the March Madness tournament. So it's pretty cool how like closely aligned the two are.
Yeah, it worked out well. Like it was very complicated to do it like on a spreadsheet. Like my mind was just like turned to mush trying to figure this out. But once you finally get it figured out, pretty cool. What was your question before I just changed that? About the designers and kind of the back end of everything. So I already explained key sets. It's seeded by how many you sold, how much it's sold. Keyboards was basically random. Had a few rules to make it a little more competitive. Desk mats completely random. I don't think we have any play-ins. We barely got to 64. We were just kind of scavenging for like 2 or 3 extras to complete it. But as far as the designers, so this year we opened up the opportunity to submit your own photos or images, I guess, because some are renders. Because last year, because I just chose them all myself, there were a lot of people complaining that they're key sets that they didn't think deserved to go as far, but because they were on an Alice, it skewed the vote. Or whatever pictures that I chose, it either wasn't good enough or it was too good. And because I was the one choosing them all, it kind of seemed unfair, I guess. At the time, I just didn't have. It was so last minute. No one even knew who I really was last year in February, to be honest. So I didn't really have the opportunity to get people to even care to submit. So this year, I just opened up the opportunity. If you want to submit the image of your choosing to represent your design, you can. If not, we'll choose it for you again. So we actually didn't have too many. I didn't expect we would, just because it's kind of hard to get the word out about that. And a lot of people are just like, I don't really care. And like desk mats, we didn't do that at all because every single one of them is just a top-down view. You can't really have an advantage as a desk mat.
Yeah,
There's this super sweet angle that now you can't even tell what the desk mat
Mine's
is.
hung on a wall. So yeah, I had an idea of possibly opening up to where you have to actually submit your actual design to be in the tournament instead of us just pulling everything automatically. So like last year and this year, if the design ran last year, we put it on the list, whether you said, hey, can you put this in there or not? Just because you have to get to 64 designs. The chances of every single designer of the entire year manually submitting is very low. So we wouldn't be able to fill. So every single design, except once we got too many, we had to start cutting some off. Like we had a few criteria, like if you ran a round 2 this year, and round 1 was last year and literally nothing changed on a keyboard, you weren't in. Or you were like the first one out. So if you made like no changes, then we weren't going to put your board in over somebody who's was a brand new board. So we had small little rules like that to try to just do what we could to narrow it down to the 64 because there was like 90 something key sets, 90 something. So we had to eliminate like 30, and it was a hard decision.
Yep. Thank you, Apiary, for the party of 119 with the raid. You guys who are here who are not joined from Apiary Keyboards is a great friend of the channel, fellow Dixie sponsor, and hater of Chick-fil-A. So, you know.
it's amazing that she's still sponsored.
I've been meaning to cancel that. Actually, decided I'm just going to change the payment instead of dollars to Chick-fil-A gift cards.
There you go. Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Just Chick-fil-A bucks.
Well, if you are just joining in, we are talking about Mech Madness. It is the second annual Mech Madness. The play-ins are currently happening, so you can head on over to the Dixie Mech Instagram or that website there to learn more about what is going on.
But yeah, so next up, I guess, with are you how are I know you've been approaching this a lot, but how excited are you personally for this? I know you're someone who puts probably every ounce of energy that you can into something like this. But how excited are you for this? Because if you guys kind of follow, I guess, records of vendors, this kind of put you on the map. Not that you hadn't run successful group buys before, but this definitely was a big push of getting Dixie in the household name of keyboards.
Yeah, that was kind of like that wasn't the only reason that I came up with it last year. But after Modern Dolch, which was September of 2018, I got married and we moved 2 hours away, bought a new house. Um, so I kind of took a break from vendoring from the end of September until minimal ran. So in like March. So I was like, everyone's forgot about me, basically. It's been 6 months. Like, I have to do something to kind of just hit this hard when I come back. And that was Mech Madness was kind of a way to try to just get more people to just at least see the logo and remember who I was, basically. Because I think it started when there wasn't even a group buy running, so it was just kind of like a reminder and something fun. They think Dixie, they think fun, you know. But yeah, it definitely jump started my comeback, and it's probably why I was able to keep growing the whole year, just because of that jump start. Just I didn't have to slowly crawl my way back. Um, but yeah, I'm
uh,
pretty excited. Sorry, you can go ahead.
I was just gonna say, newsroom cool. All this happens on Dixie's Instagram. So if you just Instagram Dixie Mech, um, you can find it, follow them, and then they will be in the stories. So if you're not an Instagram wizard like Dixie is, the stories will appear at the very top when you open up the app, and you'll be able to tap it, and it will take you through. If there's a lot going on at once, it'll all just pop up simultaneously.
Yeah.
So
So you can like wait to the end of the day and just vote on the whole day's lot if you or someone like that, or you can follow along an hour. If you go to MechMadness2020.com, it's kind of got all the explanation of everything, kind of walks you through how it works. Um, as far as excitement, I am excited for it to start, but I'm also not looking forward to posting Instagram stories every single hour of my life for a month. That's just part of the job that comes along with it that there at this moment there's no way to avoid. Um so like tonight I have to when we get done, I have to go and make the little graphics for tomorrow's matchups. And I basically have to do that every single night. I can only pre-make the first round because I don't know what's going to happen in the second round. So I have to just wait, and then every night when they're all concluded, I have before I go to bed to finish them and get them ready for the next day. So I have to do that every single day, and now I got to do it with 3 brackets. Dang, I just thought about that. There's 3 of them now.
It's gonna be it's gonna be rough.
Yeah, and I do a lot more stuff now than I did last year when I did it. So we'll see. Today I created alarms off 5 minutes before every hour of every day so that I don't forget. So it's just it's fun. Like I guess just being involved in something that complex and hopefully pulling it off is pretty rewarding. I had a lot of help from people. I don't know if they are. I guess I should ask them before I do that. But huge help. Like I don't even we would not have been ready if I had done it by myself because I just don't have the time like I did last year because I'm just doing too much stuff. Um, but like hours of just collecting pictures and just searching the entire communities past 1 year to make sure we didn't miss anything, organizing them in spreadsheets, getting all the links on the name. Like it's so much work. Like we've been working on it probably since October, trying to get it ready just to be as legit as possible. And this year I have its own website instead of it just being like a page on my website. Because I wanted the headers at the top to relate to MechMadness, not just you go away and you can't find it again. So it's a little less branded as me and more kind of its own thing this year.
Yeah.
My goal is hopefully that MechMadness will have its own Instagram account. I didn't think this was the year. I didn't think it was quite big enough yet, and I thought that the followers that I already have could help boost it to that level. But maybe next year it can be like its own complete thing. Even though it started as kind of helping me market myself, I can see it eventually becoming its own thing
Mm-hmm.
where I possibly don't even actually run it. It's just a collective group of people who do it. Um,
Yeah.
so that would be kind of cool. I think it would be more legit.
I think
Beadlocks. I'm sorry, you go.
I was gonna say, so after this week, after the plans are done, what is that next step? Like how do people fill out their brackets? Where is it done? Because and then when does the tournament actually start?
It's a very good question. It's like you know what my answer is already gonna be. So the play-ins go today where they started. Though on Friday will be the last three, and then they will end Saturday morning, and then Saturday, I guess midday. Once those are concluded, the brackets will be on a website called Challenge. It's a website set up specifically for brackets. It's basically you can use it for anything. If you have your own basketball tournament, video game tournament, but it's a pre-made thing. It has the brackets in it. It's all pre-made. So I don't love using that website because it does have its shortcomings. But at this moment, there wasn't enough time to have a completely custom system built on the website itself. That would obviously be like the end game where the brackets are filled out on the website and the voting is on the website.
Mhm.
Like it would be nice if every single thing was in one place. But like Instagram has the polls. It's a pre-made solution. It keeps people from voting more than once, or it's difficult. You have to make a whole new account. So there's little things that these pre-made things just make it way easier. So that's why we have to use these other services. But yeah, Challenge. So everything you can basically find on the website, MechMadness2020.com. There's links down the right side that's like fill out your bracket, and then it'll have a link to them when they're ready on Saturday. And when you click on it, you're going to see all three. You're going to see keyboards, set, desk, and you can click on each one, pick your entire bracket, who you think's going to win each matchup, who you think's going to win the whole thing. You will submit it. You can fill out all three. You can fill out one. You can fill out two. But every bracket will have its own set of prizes for the top. I think I'm doing top 5 for each bracket this year. So whoever scores the most points down to the 5th place will win prizes. So I guess I will now explain points. The points, every round, the amount of points you win for a correct prediction doubles. I don't remember where it starts, but for example, if the first round is 1, the second you'll get 2 points, the third you'll get 4 points, the fourth you'll get 8 points, and then 16, and then 32. So getting the ones later on in the tournament correct get more points in the first round because they're more difficult. So you could actually get like the entire first round wrong and get both winner, like the top 2 right, and get the same amount of points as someone who got all the first round right and the champion's wrong. So there's no like it's very open for anyone to win.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
And you're not done after you're not done after the first
No.
or
If
second or
you
third.
miss, I guess there was 32 matchups in the first round. I mean, if you miss 20 of the 32, it doesn't matter. As long as those 12 that you got right go deep in the tournament,
Yeah.
you can make up all those points. Like I think someone last year, it was at the moment we have these records because we only have 1 year, but the record for the longest is he got the entire first round correct on one of the brackets, which is like almost unheard of. He got like 33 in a row, didn't miss, but he came in like 100 or something place because he didn't get the end of the bracket correct. So don't get discouraged if you miss a lot of the beginning ones.
And don't get cocky if you get them all right to begin with.
Well,
Yeah, that's true.
and challenge. I don't know how is that how you say it? Challenge.
I guess it's supposed to be challenge, but then they just changed the second A to an O. Challenge.
Challenge. That has like a real time leaderboard, right? So you can kind of monitor where you're at.
Yeah.
For the points, so you can see if you're moving up throughout the rounds. You can say, "Oh, it's looking like I'm gonna win desk mats, but I might also get third in key sets."
Yeah, that's one reason why challenge is so nice is it had all those built-in leaderboards. So every day when we enter who won the previous day, you'll be able to it'll tell you what position you're in, whether you're in first place, and then it'll tell you if you got every single matchup in the whole bracket right, there's like 196 points that you can win. So it'll tell you because you've missed 5, you only have 170 available points to win left. So you can kind of tell, even if someone's in first place, they may only have 5 points left because they got everything wrong. So it's very interesting to be able to go through and just keep up with it every day if you want. On the challenge website.
So
Yeah.
what are the awards? Do you mind going through them, or at least some of the
I
best
have a
ones,
few.
some of the fun
Yeah,
ones?
so I have like a decent amount of the prizes that have been contributed from the sponsors. I just haven't quite ordered them because I'm waiting to make sure I get everything so that I can order them in the correct way. Because I'm trying to make all 3 brackets kind of even in first place, even in second place, to where like key sets isn't a better bracket to join. But here, I guess I can pull up. So here, link here. If you go to MechMadness.com, no, 2020.com. Sorry,
Slash
I'm on my iPad and
prizes.
the link's on the computer. Here we go. So if you go there, the desk mats aren't up yet, so don't click that button. But for keyboards, I might get these flipped. But for keyboards, I believe the prize is the Key Cult contribution. Which if you're on the website, you'll see that they've contributed a free Key Cult in any future run that you choose. So you can basically, if you win this, you can just wait until the group buy that they open that you want and tell them, here's my chip. I want that one. And you will just pay, I believe you just pay shipping and you get a Key Cult for free. So that's that's first place in the keyboard bracket.
It's pretty nuts. It's
the
a
only
pretty
way to
insane.
get, yeah, it's pretty nuts. When he told me that, I was like, wow. Like last year's number 1 prize is worth like $500. The only way to guarantee a Key Cult is to commission one for like $2,400, or do the Vickery, which went for over $2,000, or buy them third party for $2,000. So it's like it's basically valued at around $2,000 to guarantee a Key Cult, which was just like mind blowing. So then I was like, how do I even that out on the key set bracket? So I decided, I would just reach out to my good buddies, Linus Tech Tips, and see if they could get involved here, because we're best friends now. So they decided to contribute the Bower from the video that they filmed as the prize, along with the entire set of brass keycap.
Oh wow!
Signed by the entire Linus crew. So I thought that's probably pretty even, because that brass keycap set's worth a good bit of change.
Yeah, just raw
I think
materials.
That's the only
That's pretty.
full. Yeah, I think it's like the only full brass keycap set in the world, probably. So that's pretty cool because it's basically one of a kind. It was in a cool, high-profile video. I think there's like 1.5 million views on that video now. He banged it against the table. If you haven't seen the famous GIF of him banging it against the table, there might be a dent. That I hope there is. There could be that famous dent on the side. So that was just really cool that they decided to contribute that. I think there'll be like some T-shirts and some swag from Linus in there too.
It's also a special Bower. It's like a one of one kind of styling.
Yeah, it's like the battle scarred. So I gave them the battle scarred one because I know Linus is notorious for dropping things. So I figured if he dropped it, you wouldn't really be able to tell.
Hmm.
Um, so that's the only one that exists in that like very grunge, kind of messed up. Battle scarred is the only really way I can describe it. So yeah, it's one of one in every way. So that's pretty cool. I have a list here if it will load of the other prizes that I haven't quite put in order yet. Let me think what loads. I have Pimp My Keyboard has donated a few key sets. GMK is going to donate some key sets. I just got an email from before this started. I didn't read it, but they're going to have some Rama caps and some other things like that in there. Let's see. Canon Keys, I think, donated a Savage 65. We got a Duck Sidewinder from Prime KB. We have a set of GMK Hamon. So I mean, you got a bunch of Zap cables. Your bro Zap cables.
Can't go wrong, dude.
It's our boy.
So, I mean, there's so much stuff.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna want to enter. You're gonna at least want to fill out brackets because,
Yeah.
I mean,
What's
you've got a
what's
chance
the
to
point
win.
not selling it out? Yeah.
Like how many Bowers are there? Right, like the group I was what?
There's like 40.
Yeah. So the fact that you could win one and get it for free, that's pretty nuts. Also get the Salvin brass keycap set, which is pretty insane. It'd probably be the best like put it on a board and just like look at it set ever.
Put it on a
Yeah.
tofu.
It didn't sound horrible. Supposedly the space bar was so heavy that it almost just activated on its own. Because
Well,
it's so heavy.
Whenever I was watching it, I was like, "Oh my god, you have to put like a heavier spring in that space bar specifically because, I mean, it's like what was it, 45 grams just on the
not
space
heavy.
bar?" I'm like,
I'm pretty sure the space bar weighed more than the spring.
yeah. So I'm
strength
like,
was.
we need to throw in some like what are the cherry super blacks.
Super
Yeah.
blacks, yeah.
Oh,
Just in the
we have an NK65 from Novel Keys.
hell yeah.
We have a set of GMK Oblivion from Drop. We'll have a set of MT3 Susawatari. Did I say that right? I can't believe I think I
so.
did.
I always
pretty
thought
good.
I've heard that in Saswarty, so who
Yeah.
knows?
And then SA Lime, DSA Hana. So we get a lot of cool stuff and more coming that I quite confirmed. But it's gonna be a lot of stuff. And there's literally no reason not. I mean, it's completely no purchase necessary to win.
Yeah. I feel
There
like
you go.
They say.
I feel like the Rogue bracket, the one that's going to have the most like changes happen in it is going to be the desk mat, because I feel like no one's really going to be able to predict the desk mats because it's not done on like sales. Like there's no like the rankings are more random.
It's probably the most even across the board bracket because they're all the exact same product with just a different design on them. It's not like keyboards that have there's 3 dimensions and feel and sound and lights. It's just a rectangle with something on it. So it's probably very hard to predict because even if you try to be unbiased, it's kind of hard because it's just straight up graphic design basically.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it's going to go, but I think it'll be fun. Some people will win some stuff being like, "Oh, I never thought I was going to win that."
Yeah,
There were a couple people last year that when I emailed them, they were like, "I forgot I filled that out."
Yeah,
they won like a $500 keyboard.
That's what Jax was saying earlier. Jack Static was like, I didn't even know. I forgot what my bracket was until I got a DM saying I won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does not hurt to enter. And is it unlimited brackets? Or are you limited?
I mean, I think it's 1 per person.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we limit it to 1 per person. Just because it seems kind of unfair. But I guess I think it's the challenge website will limit you to 1 per person.
Rooster, so the brackets aren't up quite yet. They go up on Saturday, we'll make sure to ping our Discord whenever it does go up, so that way we can get everyone to fill out their brackets and get up and running and get their picks in, because you don't want to miss out. Personally, I missed out last year. I didn't end up getting a bracket. I voted on a lot of things, but I did not get in on the bracket stage. So you don't want to be me.
You have
Don't-
how many
Don't be
days?
an Osiris.
I think there's 3 weeks you'll have to fill it out. So it's not like you have to finish on Saturday. There's 21 days or so for you to either take your time, because I mean it's kind of, it takes a few minutes to fill one out, because I mean there's 64 matchups I think in each one. So I mean it takes some time for you to, and some of them you might have to go to the link and look at the pictures of it because you may not know what it is. Which that will also be on the website. We'll have a big page with links to every single design if you need to see them.
Yeah, I mean, with prizes worth up to 2,000, like one thing. Here's my mistake: don't pick your favorite. Pick what you think will win, because that's what I did. I picked my favorite, and I was like, "Yeah, this is my favorite. This is my favorite. This is my favorite." And
it doesn't matter what you think.
But so you're not going to win picking your favorites unless your favorites happen to align with everybody else. By all means, enter how you want, but you should, if you are wanting to go in and win it, and there's no reason you shouldn't, think about popularity and how other people. That doesn't mean just vote for the higher seed over and over, but think about how the community would vote, and think about, especially, I think keycaps will be. I feel like keycaps will be a little bit more straightforward, but the boards are going to be the ones that are really difficult to kind of pinpoint who's gonna win what. So just I would personally take some time, give it 15-20 minutes. Don't fill it out and hit submit immediately. Maybe fill it out a couple different times and see which one you like.
Yeah, I think that was the most talked about thing last year, was people deciding whether they wanted to base it off of their thoughts or what they thought the community, or they would fill out their bracket based on what they thought the community would think, but then when they voted on their favorite. So they were technically voting against their own bracket.
I did that.
So when it comes to you come to the voting and you go, do I just want to vote whatever I picked in the bracket to try to help myself win? Or do I actually pick the one that I like the best? So it's like a very hard thing to grapple with in your head.
I like to think that the vote that was a tie was tied because some dude was like, I'm going to vote for one that I like, even though it might not win me any points. And then it ties. He's like, damn it.
Yeah. I think you should.
Yeah, I screwed myself because of that last year. I also played.
I would vote for what I like the best, just because, like, I feel like there's going to be so many people involved. Like, your one vote may not affect it,
yeah.
But at the same time, it's also like, it'll make a matchup that would have been a landslide better, right? Like, we don't everyone want to vote for one. We don't want 1 through 16 or 1 through 8 to win on the first round by a landslide just because everyone's trying to make the bracket perfect.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's a good point. I don't.
Yeah. Don't insta vote Olivia because you think Olivia will win.
Yeah. Like last year I played. It was like, I'm not doing all this work and I didn't even get to participate. I say I'm gonna win a prize. But it came down on the key set bracket. I was number 1 on the bracket coming into the championship round. Like by a landslide, I was number 1. And it was Modern Dolch versus Olivia. And when I got down to the end in my bracket, I did what you said I shouldn't do, and I picked the one I liked better instead of the one I knew was going to win. And I picked Modern Dolch to win the whole thing, and I ended up in 85th place. If I would have picked Olivia, I would have won my own.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing that you lost, because then it might.
It would have looked a lot less legit.
Yeah.
Obviously, I wouldn't have won the prize, but I was pretty bummed. I was pretty pissed silently. It's like, I can't believe I had the best bracket. Now no one knows because I'm in 85th. It means nothing.
I mean, it is a chance for you to like kind of flex your like knowledge about
I
what
know.
people like and what's good. Like, you know, eventually there will be like as this it gets bigger and as the community gets bigger, that might be an asset, you know, knowing, hey, this set's gonna pop off. This is gonna be what people love. Could be
You're gonna
hot
be a person that
commodity.
people pay to fill their brackets out for them.
You know, if the
Go
prizes
That'd be a
get
scandal.
full time, bro.
if the prizes get
Uh.
even more crazy, like who knows, man.
Like Ford Focus, number 1.
Well, what's going to be fun, and we can kind of get into it if you want, Osiris. If not, we can back off. But we plan on being very public, and we'll probably do some stupid bet against each other, Osiris versus Chewy again with the brackets.
That'd be cool.
And so that'll be another fun way. I think that I feel like all the affiliates of Dixie should have a mini tournament.
Interesting. That's not a bad idea. Have like a leaderboard of the
of the affiliates,
maybe for like a fun affiliate prize.
like affiliate. Your whoever's affiliate gets it, and maybe because we're two people, that might not be fair, but you can be like, this person gets to give away this much or whatever.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
It could be.
We
Could be a fun.
We could make our brackets together, you know.
Yeah, we could. Oh God,
just average us together,
guys. If you want to know how Mechs on Deck ends, it's when Osiris and I have to agree on one bracket, and shit gets real personal really fast.
When we average the two together, and one of you screws the other by doing horrible, when the other one did really well.
Yeah.
Or we just do ours separately, and then you average it. Yeah, like
average
you said.
it.
I'll think about doing that. That sounds fun.
Just let everybody else enter two brackets.
I am okay with talking about it if Dixie is, but we can talk about our role in this whole shindig.
Sure.
So every week there will be a kind of a weekly recap of going through all of the brackets. If you missed out, if you didn't get to see who won, you want information, numbers, things like that. Here on Mechs on Deck, every Friday, time is to be determined, we will be doing a weekly recap show together in the style of an actual sports show.
Man, you gave away more than I would have.
I'm giving it all. I want to get people hyped. We're like,
hey, even if you don't care about the tournament, that's worth it to watch right there.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
It'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun.
I mean,
we've got a lot of cool stuff. We're doing giveaways. We're going to be talking to a lot of different people. I'm excited. So I was thinking about this. I was walking down the hallway at the school I work at, and I was like, I think about on like the midday break, the in between the noon game and the 3:30 game on NFL, Terry Bradshaw will go through every single game that's happened and just list off something, and it's like super duper 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 fast. And then I was like, that would be fun to do, but then you'd have to go through like 96 matchups on week one.
The challenge would be how fast can you read it off?
Just reading off 32 matchups from 3 different brackets.
Oh, good.
As fast as possible.
It would. I was thinking the other day. I was like, you know, it'd be hilarious if we actually did like a play on Skip and Shannon Undisputed, where we just like yell at each other for like 30 minutes of a segment. But yeah, so that's what we're doing. Our first episode is the 28th of this month. That's when
Mark. Huh? That's when. Oh, sorry, I interrupted you. My apologies.
Oh, you're good. I was just gonna say 28th of this month. That Friday we are going to be doing a bracket run through. We're gonna do our brackets as well as a couple other things. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So be sure to follow the stream and check that out because it's going to be hilarious, informative.
It's gonna be a good time.
And you might see us in suits. Who knows?
Maybe.
Better see you. Are you gonna be wearing pants or just the top?
I mean,
I think it would be better if we just wore the top.
Skip wears J's Skip
Yeah.
wears Jordans all the time, so I might have to, like I said, might have to rock some Jordans with a suit.
Suit pants,
no tops.
I
Magic
think
Mike, Magic
think,
Mech's on deck.
just and then like a bow tie.
Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah, that sounds against terms of service right there. TOS.
I think if whoever plays Skip has to go get the like weird Jordans that Skip's into. He's into like the Jordan 34 that's like a sock basically.
Heck yeah, dude.
It's going to be a very good time. So you want to stay up to date with our channel on that, because it's going to be.
And we work together with Dixie, obviously, to kind of schedule everything out. So it's kind of, the recap will be towards the end, kind of marking each end of the round or rounds, depending on how many rounds are happening that week. So, it's definitely going to be something that is, if you're someone who doesn't like Instagram, or if you're someone who you just voted on 96 different things and you don't know or don't remember who won, it'll be a good thing to check out. And also as well, just trash our brackets, because we're going to be walking through our own brackets as well and seeing how we did live. So it'll be a really fun time. I'm very excited.
No, I am too.
Obviously,
been waiting for this for a while.
Yeah, the second we talked about it, I got really excited and the ideas started rolling. We've got some really cool things planned. It's going to be.
Didn't we talk about this on another time I was on the show? Yeah. Wasn't that where it started?
We talked about it, and then after we were like, we want to be a part of this.
We were like, we will make it like an ESPN broadcast, because it would be hilarious.
Yeah, that's probably the thing I'm most excited about. Is, again, it's also fun, but it kind of seems more legit when you have people talking about the stats and comparing the cool matchups. It's not just something that you vote on and kind of forget about. Analyzing is fun. Like, there's television shows analyzing everything on Earth. Television shows, movies, sports. So why not keyboards?
People like numbers. People like to see, and we've like I said, we talked about upsets. People love to see an upset, because then it's, who doesn't like seeing. I would love to see, I don't know, a 16 seed right now. I'm gonna go through really quick your Instagram and see one of these play-ins.
One of the play-ins will be
if
a 16 seed.
HSA White on Black beat Olivia, like I would crap myself on stream.
I wonder if that would hurt the tournament. If people were like, I'm done with this. This is stupid.
Yeah. I feel like people would be like, are you kidding me? Now I can't win.
The winner of the whole tournament only won because 90 points.
Only my key sets make it to the top.
100%.
This is rigged.
Oh, look, 8008 won by a landslide. I wonder why.
Olivia went out in the first round.
8008 is playing against Dracula, and 8008 with a record 4 million votes. Don't know how that happened.
Yeah. I think, as Starstone just said, I think Handerbite that's
my worry.
That is a dark horse. That one.
That is.
It could
actually, I have to be unbiased, right?
It could make its way through the bracket and demolish everything in its path.
So Thornkin Moto Light, unfortunately, while it's an amazing set, will not make a 2020 list. So the parameters for this is that the group buy had to start and finish within the bounds of 2019. So with Moto Light unfortunately not being in 2019, it will be there for next year. And I'm sure Moto Light will slay next year in MechMadness2021. But so much for seeing it. Okay. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I got some. So last year I had trouble filling the brackets. The opposite problem of this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to like a couple of them. I either had to pull designs from 2017, um, like the end of 2017 to just kind of fill in, or I had to do some that were at the very beginning of 2019 or kind of bridged over the gap of the 2 years. Technically broke the rule, but I had to pick something, and Xeno was one of them. And a lot of people were like, "This group buy isn't even over; it just started." And I'm really glad it didn't like win, or it would be like really bad looking right now if the keyboard that won last year still hadn't shipped.
So speaking of winners, what do the designer
Oh yeah.
the designers win?
Um, the way you just said that made it make me feel like it's not enough. But I have a little. I had some trophies made last year. That basically, so it was GMK Olivia and the TGR Alice won their respective brackets. So I had a trophy that said Key Set of the Year and had GMK Olivia on it, and I ship it to the designer of Key Set or Keyboard. For them to either hide in a closet and never show anyone again, or they can display it on their mantle if they want. I know Olivia has hers on her mantle.
I
Not
would
really.
be damn proud
I'm
of
sure
it
she
if-
doesn't.
That
She
would
probably
be
uses it as like a coaster.
that would be on my desk at work, and I
Yeah.
would I would put it on top. So like when you come around and you see my cube, it's like on top of my cube, and everyone can see it.
That would be like my background image of my phone and my Discord avatar.
I think Olivia posted a picture of it on her Instagram last year. If anybody wanted to see it, I think I might have shared it too. But they're it was basically the logo, just this big acrylic thing. I'll probably do the same thing this year. Maybe one day will be big enough where we actually have like we all go to a big arena and have a stage and you make a speech.
That'd be fun.
Maybe I should
Or
get
like
winners to video themselves making a speech.
that would be dope. Or get all the winners to video themselves making a speech in preparation for it.
Oh, they have to
They have
pre-write
to
their winning
pre-record
speech.
a
That
winning
would be fun
speech.
to watch.
Because then you can go back and have the one.
Look how confident this guy was.
Get some T-shirts made, and then when they don't win, just ship them off to Salvation Army, like they do for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Lord, I think just posted a picture of last year's trophy.
Yeah.
And it had little stands made so that you could like stand them up.
And then we have to have, so it'll have to be, you have the winning interview, and then you have to interview the loser. And you're like, what could you do better next year?
Ooh, that'd be tough. Like the Tim Tebow interview.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get my Nick Saban going on.
Well, you know, God, see what I'm worried about. Like, obviously, you're not allowed to play copywritten music on Twitch, but we
Well, you
might just
are,
have
but
to
you
play one.
can't-
Oh, you
it gets
can't
muted.
VOD. Yeah, muted in the VOD.
Yeah.
But we need to play One Shining Moment whenever we announce the victory.
You play the Titanic song at the very end.
Yeah.
We could find a royalty free scuffed version. Make our own.
I'll hum it. I'll just
Yeah.
go through. So
Use GarageBand to recreate.
exactly.
you go.
Google, was it Chrome Music Lab?
Yeah. I'm kind of nervous because this last year, myself personally, I had a lot more designs that happened than 2018. I don't think I had Modern Dolch was the only one in 2018 that I technically was credited as a designer because I helped Janglad on that to actually design it and not just run it. But this year I actually had
Two
three key sets.
and a board.
I had Magic City. I can't remember if Magic City even made it, to be honest, because it was so low. But I had Magic City 8008 dual shot, and then I had Bauer. So there's a better chance because I have more key sets that I get to the ends or pretty far. And I don't know how the community is going to take that if that happens. Obviously, I have nothing to do with it because community votes on it, but we'll see. I'm used to the hate, so
Boom.
I'm prepared.
Yep. Well, if you guys have any more questions for Dixie or us about Mech Madness, this is the time and place to do it. So I can't tell you. Like, I remember watching. Okay, so funny. I'm pretty sure the Lumina made it like really far.
Oh, yeah.
Like I
I'm
want to
pretty sure
say
the
the
Xeno
Lumina
made it pretty far. Which
the
obviously
Lumina
the
made
Xeno
it to like the
exists.
round 8.
Yeah. I mean, that's the number one complaint of Mech Madness is that we choose the designs when they run and not when they ship.
Mhm.
But the logistics are already like near impossible to grasp doing it this way. But this way, there's actually a schedule. Every single key set and keyboard delivers randomly.
Yeah.
So being able to confirm when they delivered, like it would be impossible. It would be a full-time job for like the whole year to try to figure that out.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's just
then
kind of
it's like, oh well, Europe got them in December of
yeah.
2019, but America didn't get them until 2020. And then
Yeah,
that
maybe
one
if-
guy got screwed, and his didn't get delivered till February.
Yeah, like maybe one day if this outgrows me and it's actually a group of people that handle it, it could change a little bit, but only so much a handful of people can do that it's not their actual job.
Langalandia asks, "Do I get a participation trophy?"
No.
And just give him a hug at KeyCon. There you go. It's his participation trophy. One solid hug.
A bro hug. It's a Christian side hug.
It would be funny if like it eventually did get to a point where this was so big that then we also had like our own like almost award show as well, where we had things like designer of the year, vendor of the year.
It'd be cool. I mean, I think recognizing people is fun. One, because you just get to participate in something that's outside of just buying things. Kind of gets to recognize people that probably deserve to get recognized. Um, Instead of just being trashed on Discord all day, every day.
Then they get to take their trophy to their job, and they're like, "Guys, I won!" They're like, "What'd you win?" I'm like, "I designed a keyboard." And then they look at you dead in the face and go like, "Oh, like the musical one, like the piano?" And then you just hold back your tears and duck your head and never talk to them again.
Sorry, my headphones died.
No, it's all good.
I always have people when I tell them that I have a stream where we talk about keyboards. They always go, "Oh, like the ones you play," and I'm like,
Nope. I get weird looks when people see I have my OSA at work, and it's an Alice style layout. People go like, or I get the like, oh, are the work keyboards not good enough for you? And I look them dead in the face and go, nope, they're terrible.
The best is when someone goes to try to pick it up and they're like, what?
Oh,
Why?
okay. Fun story time. So this made me like have a small heart attack. So I'll unplug this, but so this woman, I was like, oh, you should pick it up. And she was like, she picks it up and she was like, why is it so heavy? And then so USB on the OSA is right here. So she just flipped it on the table, and the poor little USB was just bent in half. She bent the whole thing in half and then like flipped it back up and then did it again. And I was like, oh. So what's funny is it's the yellow and green USB cable that I built for the first Zap.
The Packer one.
The Packer one, and now it still kind of works, but it's like bent and jacked up. And
you could just snip it off, desolder the cable, and
it was
solder a brand new
I mean,
one.
yeah, I absolutely could fix it, but I was like about to cry because I was more worried about the PCB breaking. I was like, I put Zycos in there, so that's a whole nother thing. And I'm
what are you
like,
talking about?
so
it's just a keyboard. What are you talking about?
are there been any boards that will not make it into MechMadness? Well, there's rules that they have to go by. and if they do not fit that criteria. And then what we said earlier in the stream is certain boards like the Keycolt 160 versus the Keycolt 165. Only one of those boards will go through because they are extremely similar in design, and so those are kind of plans. So those are some of the boards that won't make it. Very, very similar boards, or also I know one is private group buy as well. So
yeah, like for instance, the OSA is not, while it was run and delivered in 2019, is not part of Mech Madness 2020 because it was a private buy.
Yep.
Same thing with Baka.
Yep.
Yeah, and like SA Olivia was technically private, but then opened up like 10 units. So, like, because we had way too many, we had to have just set as many criteria as we could to try to let it narrow itself down, so that it wasn't us going like, that one is gone. It would kind of be like, well, this one doesn't fit these rules, so it automatically is out. It was a lot less bias in us choosing. And if there were a few that did pass the rules, but only sold 5. It's like I'm putting yours that only sold 5 units over this that sold 80.
Yeah.
It's like, that's just, there were a couple, like there was a small handful that we actually had to just make the decision. And which is another reason why I wanted kind of a group of people to help me, so that it was more of a collective decision where everybody gave their opinions and why, and we kind of could come to a decision instead of me just being like, yeah, that one.
Collective decision means collective blame. So,
yeah.
Well,
exactly. So now I can share it and push it off onto the other people. That's when I'm going to announce who helped me.
Who are we? It's part of it.
Who's that's you if you want to decide. We can say that we talked when the first discussion started happening. We gave some input, but we weren't really big decision makers. Ours were more like, let's figure out how to do the live show. So
yeah,
we
I
did
had a group of people. Y'all were in there, but y'all were basically there for the coverage aspect. But y'all were there in case you had opinion that might help. I don't want to say the names and immediately have people to point at and blame. I guess I'll be the face of the blame, but there is more people.
Maybe
involved.
after everything's done, after the championship, maybe we'll give a nice little thank you to the people who were involved. Unless everyone's like really pissed off, in that case, then we'll be like, thanks for everyone who helped.
Mech what?
But
yep.
I think what's cool too is as you were saying, like earlier in the stream, you're talking about how people maybe in future years having it to where they have to submit their designs. I think that is like, as the community grows and it gets bigger, and this eventually gets bigger, I think that's going to be the way to really kind of do this.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's how all award shows are.
Yep.
Like,
you have to pay
even though
50 grand just to get an Oscar.
Oh, yeah, that is a good idea. 50 grand.
50 grand.
But like,
how
even
high
though every single movie you pay for your seat. It's like every movie's in the Academy Awards show, but I'm pretty sure they still had to technically apply to get in.
Yeah.
So, fun side fact: Kevin Smith, who's a very awesome director, he tried to get Silent Bob. He tried to get one of his actors in the Oscar, and it's you don't have to pay to get yourself nominated. You have to buy a ticket to a party, and at that party you can talk to people that will get your nomination in.
It seems rigged.
It's super rigged and super sketchy. But yeah, he was like, no, I didn't pay. It was like something back then. It was like $10,000 just to go to this party for a chance to be able to talk to somebody to get the nomination.
I think that's going to be how next year's going to go.
Yeah, absolutely. On your yacht.
Yeah, on the yacht. It's a yacht party.
But we had talked about on the previous stream about, I had mentioned that I would I was thinking about getting a committee of higher profile community members to help out in any decisions. I didn't end up doing that just because as I got through it, it seemed like I didn't need them at this moment. But if it ever got to where you had to apply to actually be in the tournament, you would have to have a group of people to pick them.
Yep.
So I don't want to be that person. But it's always you're gonna have too many. I feel like from this moment forward, we're always gonna have too
Yeah,
many.
it's
Yeah. Well, that's why
So we're always gonna have to have people out. So
that's why
whoever pays the most
Oscars-
money gets in.
Well, that's why Oscars is the Academy Awards, right? Like it's an academy of people.
Yeah.
It's a group of people that are deciding. It's not
It's not the Kids' Choice Awards.
general public.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not the Kids' Choice Awards. I mean, the
Maybe that's what I
finals
should've named
is the finals is the actual tournament is the Kids' Choice Awards, but not the
Yeah.
So
I mean, I could see it being cool, like y'all mentioned, having not a bracket, but votes to recognize other people. Content creator of the year.
Well, there was
vendor of the year,
Keep
designer of
Talk
the year.
did that last year, and I've been looking and curious to see if they
Yeah,
would do that again.
I think the Mech Keys Discord used to do it, but all the ones that have done it have been very like secluded in their area,
Mhm.
and it's been just a small group of people who kind of do it. I've never really seen one that got huge to where it was very diverse of all the different small groups voting on the same thing. Yeah, the wing nuts, which is pretty cool. The little trophies that you get.
Mhm.
I think that's the Met Keys one. I think
It's
even Desk Authority used to have one.
yeah, and it's tough because you have like, okay, well, Reddit would be a good place for it, but not everybody goes on Reddit,
And
Geek
not
Hack
everyone
would
on
be another-
Reddit is deep enough in to even know who these people.
Yeah, I mean, I subbed to our mechanical keyboards at least a year before I actually got into mechanical keyboards. I just remember being like, oh, those are cool looking keyboards, and then that's as far as I went for like an entire year. So
I think 2018 I came in 4th place in the vendor vote.
So Dixie's gonna hold his own awards.
I was the 4th best.
You can vote for Dixie.
Out of 4 at the time.
Dixie's
only
gonna
like
be,
4 existed.
Dixie's
You're
gonna
not
be
first for
top
last.
vendor, top designer, top content creator for his packing streams.
Yeah.
Top
Seeing it all.
innovator for something.
Creating this tournament to award myself. That's pretty innovative.
Hey,
it's like the Obama meme where he's putting the medal around his own neck. Well, guys,
maybe that'll be a Mechs on Deck thing. The Keeb Awards 2021. Maybe.
There you go. Maybe.
Don't put the word
figure it
Keeb
out.
in it.
Keeb. The keyboards.
The keyboard awards.
The keyboard wars.
Wars?
Pets of the community
Keyboards.
bracket. That would be too hard. You wouldn't be able to vote. You can't have 100% vote on both sides every single time, Beadlock. So,
Yeah,
well,
that's true.
thank you guys very much. This VOD will go up tomorrow. So hopefully we answered as many questions as possible to you guys. If you have any more, we're going to go through. I just went blank. I'm sorry. Sponsors. We're going to go through the sponsors real quick. If you have any last questions, just at Mechs on Deck so we can see it. Switchmod.net/Mechs on Deck. Go pick up GMK Metaverse. You can do switchmod.net/Chewy or switchmod.net/Osiris with a 0 for $5 off that, as well as 4% off your lube and other goodies on the website. Zap Cables just released the coiled white cable that you can pick some of the heat shrink colors on. Be sure to go pick those up, as well as some awesome desk mats. MechsOnDeck.DixieMech.com, GMK, Modern Dolch Light or Modo Light or Modal, whatever you want to say. Be sure to go check that out. Is the 94.99 still? Is that through the rest of today?
No, it ended
it's
this
no.
morning. So it's
It ended this morning.
$99.99.
$99.99. So.
Also, congratulations are in order. Congratulations on what is probably the best first day ever for a GMK set.
I think it officially is.
Congrats.
go.
Congrats.
Congrats. If you get on that, you can get on the Dixie Dozen. That's you can get 12 coupons of 20% off that can be used over the course of 12 months. So, and then lastly, you can go to mexondeck.project.link for project keyboards. Go pick up a Tengu. If you haven't checked out the video, Osiris did a great couple of videos the last 2 days. So be sure to check that out. And if you want that, use that link. It helps us out. And then GMK Perestroika.
Oh, that was good.
Thank you. Well, you told me before the show.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm surprised I got it right.
So make sure to go check that out.
Check it out. Pick it up. We will be back again tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central. So like 22 and a half hours from now. Chewy will be live building his Austin, which is a keyboard I know he is very excited to get built.
It's like the highlight of my month.
This wasn't? Well,
well, hey man, I had to remind you over Instagram. This was happening.
Don't tell them that.
They're not supposed to know. And then
Pull back the curtains.
Wednesday we will be live at 8 p.m. Central Time with Baron from Smith and Ruin talking about the Iron 165, talking about what they have going on and what they've got coming up. So definitely come back tomorrow night and Wednesday night. It's been a fantastic stream, Dixie. Thank you so much for joining us.
Always is. We didn't go like 4 hours this time.
I did not.
I'm happy.
Yeah, the Monday ones are a little bit dialed back.
We had a very like compact topic this time. We couldn't stray
Yes.
too far. It helped.
Well, there's not really an opinion as much about.
You may tell you the real
it's
reason.
a thing.
College football is not happening right now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not. It's over.
So we had nothing to talk about.
How about the
Football's
Chiefs, though?
Football. XFL is about to get lit. XFL. All right, we're gonna hit up Tyson. He is a fellow Dixie affiliate
And Texan.
in Texas, dude. Fellow Texan man. He is the ha to our ye. He is a fun guy.
I was like Yahi. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and be sure to follow Dixie on Instagram and vote for those play-ins. I know Chewy really wants Tara to win. You got a couple more hours to vote for Tara, or vote for what's it going against?
I don't know how to say it. JTK,
Joke stock. No, I'm kidding. That's mean.
Jockstock, Vostok.
Yes.
Yeah.
JTK Vostok 1, Boktok 1. So be sure to vote for that. And if Tara wins, I'll give you a nice thumbs up.
But to say you have to break a rule.
I'll give you a nice thanks, guys.
And you can turn on I guess you have to do it right now. But once the tournament starts, you can turn on notifications on Instagram if you want to actually keep up. And it'll be like, hey, the next one's ready. So,
absolutely. So before we get kicked off from the raid, thank you guys. Bye, Switch Tester.
RIP.
Mamba mentality.